Good evening, I'm Peter Mansbridge, and this is The National. A computer virus spreads international cyber chaos for the second time in just weeks.
In the case of this one, it's a bit more sophisticated.
Why there's a lesson here for Canada. CBC News investigates the Edmonton police and finds who they tend to stop on the street.
It is discriminatory and it is most likely illegal.
The White House barks a warning about chemical weapons in Syria. The last time the bite was pretty soft. Plus, Indigenous girls defy tradition and claim a sacred sport as their own.
So it's like something to look forward to instead of like feeling sad.
A highly connected world helps us all work faster and smarter. But when criminals exploit a vulnerability, networks can tumble like dominoes. Airports, international businesses, even a notorious nuclear site, all taken offline today by a vicious cyber attack. And if that sounds familiar, it's because it is. This is the second strike in recent weeks. And as Adrian Arsenault tells us, these hackers learned from last time.
Feel free to come up with your own theories as to why, but Ukraine is often the first and hardest hit in recent cyber attacks. It happened again today. The man shooting the selfie video is the director of Ukraine's national power company. All over the country at the same time, he said, many enterprises were infected. The airport, the power company, the banks, the metro, all targeted with ransomware. And Chernobyl. Once the site of the world's biggest nuclear disaster, radiation there is measured by computer. Only some are now down, so the radiation has to be gauged manually. This attack fast became more than Ukraine's problem. Here's how the day unfolded. Ukraine first. By 3 o'clock UK time, the world's largest PR firm was hit. Minutes later, a Russian energy giant was targeted. Within the hour, it was Maersk, the massive Danish shipping firm. And then attacks in Spain, Lithuania, and then a drug firm and hospital in the U.S. It's still going on.
Often the malware is pretty indiscriminate. You know, it can be written to be targeted at one company, but it can be spread around pretty easily, especially if it goes through network connections or via email.
Those infected computers with locked up files were greeted by this basic but bold message today. Don't waste your time. Send $300 in Bitcoin to this address. It's the same amount of money demanded with last month's WannaCry attack, a bullish assault that only ended when a 22-year-old computer expert known online as Malware Tech just sat down and figured out a trick to stop it. He was a cyber hero. Not so simple this time.
Yeah, Malware Tech, we need him today. Come and save the day. In the case of this one, it's a bit more sophisticated. That isn't trying to connect it. There's no what we call a kill switch. There's no way to destroy it. So it could actually be a bit more persistent for longer.
Those who are panicking are paying up. A Twitter account tracking it as the day goes on. The dollars aren't huge. Disruption is what the hackers are really after. The look of a Ukrainian supermarket at a standstill will thrill them. Adrian Arsenault, CBC News, London.
Well, our tech reporter Matt Braga is here with more on this. Matt, this is clearly a very sophisticated attack.
Yeah, at first glance, it looked like it was maybe just a repurposed version of the WannaCry ransomware that struck computers across the globe last month. Both attacks using repurposed NSA code, a leaked cyber weapon code that made its way onto the internet. But as researchers have been poring over this most recent attack over the day, they've been calling it Petya. They've been discovering that there's actually been some modifications that have been made to make it even more adept at spreading and evading sort of eradication. One of the big things, is that there's no kill switch like we saw with WannaCry. So no easy way to kind of flip this new malware off and stop it from spreading, which is why the New York Times cybersecurity reporter Nicole Perlroth called it WannaCry on crack.
Jeez. Now, Ottawa has said it wants to be much more offensive, much more on the attack, on an attack like this. So what's the lesson here?
So with both WannaCry and this most recent ransomware incident, this is very much the sort of worst nightmare for national security experts and civil liberties experts, because you basically have the government's own cyber weapon being turned against them, right? Turned against us as a population. And so it raises lots of thorny questions around, you know, when a government is looking for software vulnerabilities and making decisions about what to report to companies so that they can fix them and what to actually weaponize and sort of turn into these tools. What sort of processes are there to determine sort of how that works and what sort of responsibilities are involved? This is one of those things that if Canada wants to be a big player on sort of the cyber offensive field on the world stage, right, this is something that they're going to have to sort of grapple with the same way that their colleagues in the U.S. have as well.
All right, Matt, thanks very much.
Thanks, Peter.
Google has been hit with a $3.6 billion fine for anti-competitive practices. European Union antitrust regulators say Google abused its market dominance as a search engine by promoting its own shopping service in ads above other search results. Google has 90 days to stop the practice or face further penalties. Today's antitrust fine is the largest ever handed out by the European Commission. The White House has served notice to the Syrian regime. Use chemical weapons on your people at your own peril. It's threatening what it calls a heavy price for any future chemical attacks. And it hopes Bashar al-Assad wasn't the only leader listening. Paul Hunter has the details from Washington.
As is made clear so regularly in Syria's now 6-year-old civil war, even conventional weapons cause untold horror. These pictures are said to be of the aftermath of a missile strike on a Damascus suburb yesterday. But chemical attacks, such as this one in April, take horror to a whole other level. Syria called these images fake video in denying any use of chemical weapons, as the U.S. indeed quickly blamed the regime of Bashar al-Assad.
When you kill innocent children, innocent babies, little babies, that crosses many, many lines beyond the red line.
And a day after those comments, 59 U.S. cruise missiles targeted the Syrian airfield said to have been the launching point for the chemical attack, though it's unclear how much damage was done. Regardless, now, says the White House, that same airfield shows fresh signs Syria may be actively preparing for another chemical attack, though it offered no evidence. In a statement, the White House warned if Assad does conduct such an attack, he and his military will pay a heavy price.
Not just to send Assad a message, but to send Russia and Iran a message that if this happens again, we are putting you on notice.
In western Syria today, Assad, meanwhile, inspected a Russian fighter jet. While Russia denounced the U.S. threat as unacceptable, Iran's foreign minister called it another dangerous U.S. escalation in Syria on fake pretext, as U.S. ally Britain stood by America.
But I want to leave you in no doubt. We think it's absolutely right, if we can, to prevent the use of chemical weapons, and we will fully support any U.S. action.
All of it ratcheting tensions between the U.S. and Russia in the days before Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin are expected to meet face-to-face for the first time since Trump took office. It's to be at the July G20 meetings in Germany. They'll have plenty to talk about. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Washington.
Iraq's military is gaining ground against ISIS in its last stronghold in that country. Forces pushed towards Mosul's old city today. About 350 militant fighters are said to be hiding among civilians. The group now only has about 1 square kilometer under its control. ISIS seized Mosul 3 years ago. U.S.-backed forces are also closing in on the group's self-proclaimed Syrian capital, Raqqa. Coming up, Western Jews lash out against segregated prayers at a holy site in Israel.
The damage is deep, but I hope temporary.
Plus, hitting hard at the World Cup. Doctors say FIFA ignores concussion guidelines. The Ontario government is providing $85 million to clean up mercury that leaked into a northern Ontario river near two First Nations. The Dryden paper mill dumped 10 tons of mercury into the Wabigoon River in the 1960s. It contaminated the fish and poisoned the people of Grassy Narrows and White Dog First Nations. High levels of mercury can still be found in the soil and fish today, suggesting mercury may still be leaking from the site. Justin Trudeau says his government's done a pretty good job this past year. No real surprise there. The Prime Minister spoke to reporters in a little end of the sitting news conference today. But it's no real surprise either that the opposition doesn't exactly agree. Anna Thibodeau has more.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau gave himself and his Liberal government a glowing review.
We've been successful so far because we took the time to listen to people.
But almost 2 years into his mandate, he's broken some big promises and continues to deal with issues that won't go away. Trudeau has always maintained Canadian forces will only train, not be involved in a combat mission in Iraq. But a Canadian sniper shot and killed an ISIS fighter from more than 3 kilometers away late last week. For some, it's hard to argue that was in defense.
It's clear that when you're shooting at someone and killing them on the front line, you're in a combat mission.
What happened there is, first of all, something to be celebrated, but also something to be understood as being entirely consistent with what Canada is expected and Canadians expect our forces to be doing.
Here's another commitment Trudeau repeated over and over.
That the 2015 election will be the last federal election using first past the post.
He scrapped that position earlier this year and now blames the opposition.
There was no openness to compromise in the other parties, and I wasn't going to use my majority to bring in a system just to tick off a box on an election platform.
It was an embarrassing retreat, and it turns out an expensive one. The government asked Canadians what they thought about the way they vote through an online survey. They mailed out almost 15 million postcards telling people to log on. The overall cost, $2.7 million.
As far as that much money being spent and ignoring the results, I think Canadians have the right to demand some answers.
And speaking of money, Trudeau promised to balance the books by 2019, but it's not expected to happen until 2050.
Instead of focusing on balancing the books arbitrarily and at all costs, we would focus on the investments needed to grow the economy.
They dug themselves a very large hole. They have no plans, and they don't care to have a plan to come out of it.
Despite the broken promises and declining approval ratings, if an election were held today, pollsters say Justin Trudeau's Liberals would win. Hannah Thibodeau, CBC News, Ottawa.
It's a practice used to some degree by police forces right across the country. Carding, as random street checks are known, has been controversial enough in Toronto that the Ontario government banned its use for arbitrary stops based on, say, race or presence in a high crime area. Now, CBC News has determined that it's an issue in Edmonton, too, where numbers obtained under access to information suggest race is a big part of police stops there, too. Details from Terry Reith.
Last year in Edmonton, police stopped, questioned, and checked the identification of 23,000 people. They call it street checks. Others call it carding. Some call it racist.
Carding is racial profiling. It is discriminatory and it is most likely illegal.
Documents obtained by CBC News through access to information show Indigenous women were 10 times more likely to be stopped and checked than white women. Indigenous people overall, 6 times higher than the white population, and black people were 5 times more likely to be stopped and checked by police. But those numbers only reflect people who've had previous encounters with police where race was recorded. The actual street check reports make no mention of race, but the information gathered goes into the police database where it's merged with other records and shared with other agencies. So that could mean the numbers of Indigenous or black people being stopped could be even higher. Edmonton police were quick today to defend the practice and deny that race plays any role in who's stopped.
Members of the Edmonton Police Service are not racially profiling or stopping people based on bias.
Carding has long been an issue in Ontario, particularly Toronto, where police face similar allegations of racial bias. In January, new laws were put in place to ban the practice in part, but critics of carding say it left a huge loophole.
The new rules suggest that police officers can stop and ask you questions if they make the case that they're in doing an investigation.
Ronaldo Walcott says it is too soon to say whether the new law has solved the problem in Ontario. Back in Alberta, the leader of a group representing Indigenous women says the disproportionate rate of street checks simply breeds mistrust of police.
There's lots of ways to build a relationship between police and the Indigenous community. I would say that this isn't the best way to do it.
Alberta's Justice Minister says she is looking into the issue. Working groups have been struck. Public consultations will begin in the near future. But the bottom line for some is carding has to end. Terry Reith, CBC News, Edmonton.
25 homes west of Toronto are still empty tonight, 1 year after an intentional explosion leveled part of a neighborhood. 800 homes were initially affected by last summer's blast. Within a few days, most people could go home, but 69 homes were deemed unfit. The mayor of Mississauga says the city has expedited work permits, but construction has taken longer than expected. An investigation determined the explosion was the result of a double suicide pact by the couple who lived in the home.
Our homes can't wait! Our homes can't wait!
Members of several groups disrupted Vancouver City Council today, demanding an end to homelessness. Vancouver's so-called 10-year tent city is slated to be evicted tomorrow at noon. Straight ahead, Ontario's soggy summer and fires in California. In both cases, part of the problem is rainfall. You should feel comfortable in knowing that we actually do have a process. We do have journalistic standards and policies which we follow. We have senior editors who are responsible for those kind of issues, but sometimes it doesn't even need to get to them because we discuss it as a program and we go through the, let me put it this way. I'm going to ask Heather to take this on as well, but let me put it this way. If we wanted to, we could run nothing but horrible pictures from one end of the program to the other every day. They're available. We see them all the time. But we make conscious choices about what we feel is acceptable to tell the story. And sometimes that needle changes depending on the story. You know, Paul mentioned Joe. I can remember Joe once feeding in an item from El Salvador. This goes back, 30 years when the Civil War was going on there. He was so tired of sending in reports that weren't having an impact on people, including our desk, another story from El Salvador, that his story of that particular day was brutal in its visuals, absolutely brutal. And he sent in the item, we were sitting there watching it in Toronto, we said, oh, wait, we can't run that. That's too much. And Joe got on the phone, called us, said, okay, you're gonna run it? And we said, no, well, Joe, we gotta take a couple of those shots out. And he was very, very upset. And he made the argument that every once in a while, you have got to show them what is happening in this world, our world. And so we showed them. Now, nobody called us and thanked us for doing that. Most people called or wrote very, very upset. But you know what? They'll never forget what they saw. They'll never forget what was happening in that country on that day. And they shaped their views, not just about us, but about that war based on that story. We hear what you're saying. We do worry about these things. We want to have an impact in a constructive way in the stories we tell. And sometimes you have to push the limits to achieve that. A dramatic emergency call in downtown Toronto took a big twist today. Firefighters rescued a woman from the ledge of a burning apartment 3 stories above ground. She seemed desperate as black smoke billowed out and was brought safely down without any major injury. Then, a little while later, she was arrested and charged with arson for the very fire she was rescued from. An investigation is underway. A provocative name will soon disappear from Toronto's skyline. The new owners of the city's Trump International Hotel and Tower have reached a deal to rebrand the building. The 65-story tower will be renamed later this year after the Trump Organization's management contracts were bought out. Despite its name, the property has never been owned by Donald Trump. The name is licensed and managed by a company currently run by Trump's 2 sons. The record-breaking rainfall in central Canada isn't letting up as spring turns to summer. We've seen some of the damage that flooding has done to people's homes, especially in Quebec. And tonight, the CBC's Havard Gould shows us how it's affecting farmers' crops in Ontario.
Somewhere under all that water is some of the best farmland in Ontario. Not that productive, however, when rain keeps flooding fields, drowning crops, and washing away profits.
Yeah, I've never seen it like this. We've been farming here since 1934, and we've had wet springs before, but coming into July, I can honestly say we've never had this much water.
Big swaths of Ontario have been hit with record-breaking rain. In some spots, 3 or even 4 times the regular spring rainfall.
It's ironic because last year was the driest I ever remember in like back-to-back years. It's unreal.
These strawberries have survived, but the rain is still ruining this U-pick operation because customers have to be turned away in bad weather.
The ground's really saturated.
Many farmers can't catch a break. In recent weeks, the temperatures have been cool, while sunny days, which give the land a chance to dry out, have been rare and always followed by rain.
Not only is it the amount of rain, but it is also the frequency of it. The last 12 days, it's rained on 11 of those days.
The Holland Marsh area north of Toronto is often called the province's salad bowl, but much of it looks more like soup, very watery soup.
Believe it or not, a few days ago, this field was pumped out, the water gone. Then the rain came back.
The losses can't be calculated yet. Farmers still have hope.
I don't want to say that the season is ruined. Mother Nature has a funny way of allowing their plants to adjust to a lot of different climatic events out there. So we could turn around and have a fantastic summer the rest of the growing season.
But the long-range forecast for Ontario is for more of the same.
It is almost the year without summer, certainly for farmers.
A season that feels a lot like the soggy spring that, in theory, just ended. Havard Gould, CBC News, Bradford, Ontario.
In the U.S., it's wildfires that are causing people stress. Firefighters are battling intense flames burning across several southwestern states. In Utah today, a huge fire prompted an evacuation of more than 1,500 people. Arizona is burning so badly it declared a state of emergency a few days ago. And as Kim Brunhuber tells us from California, rain is, oddly enough, one of 3 factors creating the perfect firestorm.
No one joins the U.S. Forest Service to cut down trees. But where you see gray branches, they see kindling. It's only the start of the fire season in California, and already it's a bad one. From the air, it looks like a giant burning lash searing the land.
Oh my God, look at that.
A fire just off a highway 46 kilometers north of Los Angeles came meters from incinerating a neighborhood, potentially trapping thousands of drivers.
Cars were turning around, driving backwards on the freeway. They were pretty much just doing anything they wanted just to get away from the fire.
It's just one of more than 20 fires burning across 7 western states. In California, fire has consumed triple the area it did this time last year. That's because 3 different accelerants have boosted the flames. The first 2, the current heat wave and the effects of the state's 6-year drought.
You can see a lot of dead trees still remain.
17 million, and that's just in this one forest.
In California, right now, there's an estimate of about 100 million dead trees.
Because the drought killed so many trees, the state's forests are now stacked with dry fuel.
And if a fire were to come through here while people were here and the trees come down, there's no way out. It's a fire trap.
You might think this winter's record rainfall that officially ended the drought would mitigate the danger this summer, but all that rain is actually the third accelerant.
A lot of areas you see are wonderfully green right now, which is beautiful. However, those grasses are going to cure out as we continue to move into the summer, which is going to result in a condition that is going to be a fire danger. We just need to have the right combination of weather conditions.
And that combination is here, now. That's why there have already been so many fires. The solution, according to the U.S. Forest Service, more fires. The state's forestry and fire officials are thinking about expanding their controlled burn program to use up all of that fuel while conditions are still relatively green. By setting many small fires in areas they can manage, they're hoping to avoid the large fires in areas they can't control. Later this week, a little breather. The heat wave, at least, is expected to end. But the millions of dead trees won't disappear, and the grass looks like it's ready to burn. Kim Brunhuber, CBC News, Sequoia National Park.
British Prime Minister Theresa May is calling for a major national investigation into the use of cladding on high-rise buildings.
Something has clearly gone wrong over a number of years, and we need to find out what, why, and how to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Officials have tested the cladding from 95 buildings across Britain. None passed fire safety standards. A public inquiry has already been called into the June 14th fire at Grenfell Tower, which left 79 people dead. The risk of a similar type of fire to Grenfell Tower prompted an evacuation today in western Germany. About 80 people were forced to leave their apartment building in the city of Wuppertal after the exterior cladding was found to contain flammable material. Fire inspectors are testing about 70 high-rise buildings across the city. Some Jewish leaders are warning of an unprecedented crisis between part of the diaspora and Israel. They're angry that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government has canceled its plans to expand a mixed-gender prayer area at the Western Wall. Derek Stoffel reports from Israel.
These ancient stones have been the site of solemn reflection for thousands of years now. The remnants of the Western Wall mark the place where the biblical Jewish temple stood long ago. Millions come here every year to pray, but how and where they can worship has been the source of controversy for some time.
This is where men come to pray. Women are separated in that section right there beyond that fence.
The rules set by ultra-Orthodox rabbis forbid women and men from gathering together at the wall.
We don't have equal access.
Rahel Yesharon is an Israeli Canadian who's with the group Women of the Wall. They've been holding prayer sessions for years now, calling for equal rights for women. Their protests sometimes have turned violent, but last year a victory. The Israeli government approved plans for a third prayer space. This is it, away from the main Western Wall plaza. But on Sunday, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu went back on his word and shelved plans to go ahead with the mixed prayer space, bowing to pressure from powerful ultra-Orthodox political parties in his coalition government. That set off a crisis here, endangering Israel's relations with Jewish communities around the world, particularly in Canada and the United States, where there are larger numbers of Jews with liberal values.
I'm disappointed.
Linda Kislowitz from Toronto is a senior leader in Canada's Jewish community, here this week for meetings. She says the relationship between Jewish Canadians and Israel has taken a hit.
The damage is deep, but I hope temporary. And I think that we shouldn't underestimate the fragmentation, the fracture, the disappointment, the anger even.
A Dutch appeals court confirmed today the Netherlands was partly liable for one part of the Srebrenica massacre in 1995, when about 300 Muslim men were murdered by Bosnian Serb troops. Today's ruling upheld a 2014 decision that Dutch peacekeepers should have known that the men seeking refuge at the base near Srebrenica would be killed if they were forced to leave. Altogether, more than 8,000 men and boys were killed by Bosnian Serb troops in the Srebrenica massacre. Damages for victims' families will be decided later. And in Colombia, a historic moment today in that country's struggle for peace. Thousands of rebels fighting an insurgency there for half a century gave up most of their weapons in a public ceremony. They say they will continue their political struggle, but called it a farewell to arms. Up next, Indigenous girls stake out new ground.
It's something you get to tell like future generations. Like I was on the first women's Niagara crossing, like that's amazing.
They are out to show this sacred game is not for men only. Plus, the bank machine turns 50. They've changed our lives, but they may be past their peak.
For every performer you see on the screen, there are literally hundreds of people just outside the range of the cameras, each with a vital role to play. From the master craftsmen in negative film cutting, to the technicians who duplicate our scripts, from the artists who design our sets, to the delightfully eccentric genius who must edit this film you're watching.
I don't think this will cut.
Because CBC Toronto's job is serving the public, it must keep pace with community development, to go where the action is, to cover and report on a wide range of outside events, whether it be a royal visit, a football game, or a civic election.
The Toronto operation has a wide scope. It allows the imagination to stretch farther than a camera cable. Over the years, the gleaming double blue of the huge 3-camera color mobile units have become as much a part of the fabric of this growing city as her dazzling City Hall complex.
No, it's okay. Look, you stay. I'm all wound up. I gotta get away. No, this place is beginning to bug me. I'll go. No, if you stay, I'll go. I'll go. I insist. I got a better idea. Why don't both of us go?
The great bulk of present-day programming is packaged and edited electronically under the nimble fingers of the videotape editor and under the eye of the program producer and script assistant.
So that's the one that's about the third number on after the last one we saw. And we'll leave your levels up for a moment.
Master Control. And as the name implies, these men and machines are the masters of CBC Toronto, the flagship station of the English network. And it is through this sophisticated gear that every film, tape, or live program is funneled. The nerve center of CBC broadcasting in Toronto isn't hard to find. Just peek under the tower. There you'll see the Jarvis Street complex, the TV building, flanked by the huge Studio 7 on Mutual Street, and the annex on the right housing the CBC executive offices. And over on the left, the one-time girls' school turned radio building.
You won't hear much in the way of school cheers coming from the radio building these days, but you hear just about everything else.
Radio sound effects department, kicking up a storm.
We hope to get this from Washington, a $3 billion...
CBC Radio News, one of the most versatile and far-flung news agencies in the world, with taped news reports and live feeds from the four corners of the globe.
Fine, thank you, Norm.
interest levels, please, Jim, first.
British MP Bernadette Devlin flew from Shannon to New York today on a fundraising visit.
The World at 8. Good morning from CBC News, etc.
That's fine. Thanks very much.
Hi, everything okay?
Yeah. See, you made it on time for once.
The World at 8. Good morning from CBC News. This is Jim Chorley with Rex Loring. Here are the headlines.
Lacrosse was first declared Canada's national sport way back in 1859. But it's far older than that. Centuries before Confederation, Indigenous warriors took the field to honor their tribes and their creator. The game's spiritual aspect remains, and now Indigenous women play with the same ferocity as the men. Soon, two sisters from an Ontario First Nation will show off their impressive lacrosse skills at the North American Indigenous Games, hoping to win the day and even a new future. Duncan McHugh has their story.
It's like really therapeutic to like feel the ball moving in your stick, catching and throwing.
The rush, the high, that's what keeps you going. Tough times at school and you come out and you play lacrosse and you totally forget about it for a while. Win or lose, it's the best medicine.
At Six Nations of Grand River, the largest First Nation in Canada, they call it the medicine game. Mackenzie and Taylor Deliri have driven nearly 2 hours just for a practice. Go out, go out, go out, go out. Not any old practice, though. This team of girls from across Ontario is getting ready for the North American Indigenous Games in July.
Nice.
Yep, now you get back up there. The first time in the 25-year history of the Games that women's box lacrosse teams will be allowed to participate.
I want aggressiveness on my defense.
In a rough and tough sport synonymous with male power in many Indigenous communities, coaches Pat Pembleton and Miquan Tulpin say these girls represent change.
Lacrosse is known as a medicine game, and it was made for the men in that respect. So women's lacrosse itself has been taboo because there's an energy that women have around surrounding their mood time.
Here.
Yeah, ball!
Come down, you gotta come down. A lot of our nations don't allow women to play lacrosse. So to me, that's a big honor to be here coaching these girls that are allowed to play.
The Deliri girls hail from the Chippewa of Thames First Nation, just outside London. From a home where all 4 kids play lacrosse, thanks to their father Mark, who has a passion for the game.
We're taught that it was the game of the Creator. The Creator created this game for us, and that he loved to watch his people play the game.
It didn't matter to 18-year-old Taylor, the oldest, that lacrosse is a male-dominated sport. Once she started, Mackenzie was keen to play too. That's when Mother Sherry got a bit nervous.
At first I was concerned about how physical it can be. Mackenzie, she was petite, and I had fears and concerns that she would get hurt.
But what quickly became evident when it came to lacrosse, Mackenzie stood out.
All her teammates noticed her right away, like, whoa, the crowd, whoa. Just a big whoa, and she does some play, how'd she do that? And we'd even asked, how do you do it? She said, I don't know. She said, I just do it.
She's 17 in grade 11 now, college and university on her mind, trying to cram in some studying.
Everybody got their water bottles.
Barely enough time to scarf down snacks.
Sid has practice at 7, then you guys have yours at 8, then Colin's there from 9 till 10.
Before the whole family heads off to practice.
Mackenzie would like to play field lacrosse for university. That could only really happen if she gets a full scholarship, right? Financially, we wouldn't be able to, send her to school in the States on her own.
Oslo.
But now, thanks to her involvement in the Indigenous Games, Mackenzie has a mentor.
That's it. Beautiful pick. Her spirit is ignited. It's lit by this game, and she has those eyes of wonderment right now, and you can tell, and you can see that she wants to be involved. She wants to be a part of these opportunities, and she wants more for herself. Yeah.
Meekwan Telpin is herself inspirational, a Cree from James Bay who didn't pick up a lacrosse stick until her late teens, now one of the top females in the sport, a member of Canada's national women's field lacrosse team.
There's 4 corners, there's a box here at all times.
And she's convinced the North American Indigenous Games will open doors for Mackenzie and the other girls.
There's a history that's taking place here, and they get to be a part of that. And I think we've had a higher attendance at the tryouts as well as the practices for women participating beyond the men right now. And that just goes to show the excitement and the dedication that they have to wanting this opportunity for themselves.
Oh, this is pretty big.
That excitement is mounting with the games a month away as players size equipment and anticipate a gathering of nations in the name of sport.
I feel like there's such a stigma around natives, all they're about is, but the bad stuff. There's not enough positive around youth natives.
So it's something for kids to look forward to instead of feeling sad about stuff or just get into bad habits. So by making the NAG games, they say, wow, if I go to my practices and I train really hard instead of doing other things, then I can be rewarded in a big way.
So practice they do back at home, where Mackenzie and Taylor both play for a local girls team in London. Slowly but surely, women are making breakthroughs in box lacrosse, attracting more attention, more funding. With younger sister Sydney looking on, Taylor can't help but feel like a trailblazer.
It's something you get to tell future generations. I was on the first women's NAG lacrosse team. That's amazing to say.
And when Mackenzie looks to her future, she's aiming high. Her sights set on college lacrosse, where she's keen to study kinesiology.
My end dream with lacrosse is just to take what I know from the sport and eventually help other athletes who might get hurt. That's my dream to do, help other athletes achieve their dreams.
But tonight, more modest goals for the Deliri girls: sustenance.
Drive safely.
So after a quick stop to visit Dad at work,
we're eating good tonight, ladies.
Time to head home. It is, after all, a school night. Sports have the power to motivate, discipline, teach. And in Indigenous communities across North America, teams of dedicated youth are getting ready to shine at games they call their own. Duncan McHugh, CBC News, Chippewas of the Thames First Nation.
Coming up, the FIFA World Cup under scrutiny. Doctors say officials ignored signs of head injuries. Time to take a look at the day's business numbers. The TSX dropped 34 points. The dollar increased 0.3 cents. In New York, the Dow lost 98 points. The price of oil closed up 86 cents a barrel.
Good evening from London. It was a glittering and magnificent ceremony here at historic St. Paul's Cathedral, the marriage of Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer.
It was as if all of London was in love. 600,000 people filling the streets, come to share a special day. As they cheered every carriage, and as they listened quietly to the ceremony on the speakers,
I pronounce that they be man and wife together.
they were, quite simply, rejoicing.
Because I love these things. I love royal weddings and royal anything.
Yes, it's Britain, isn't it? It's Britain.
We're here because we're English, we're British. This is a great day for us.
The crowd in front of me today has been absolutely marvellous. They've enjoyed themselves watching the procession, and they seem to have enjoyed it thoroughly.
It was a time to forget all the troubles, and anyone who tried to bring them up didn't have a chance.
For the country.
It's good for the country, yeah,
it's good
but...
for ordinary people like me who go to work every day.
Yeah,
and
but what about
thousands
people
and
that
millions
haven't
of
got
other
jobs?
people like us, all right?
What about people
it's
that
good
haven't
for
got
us.
jobs?
I enjoy it.
What about fellas like me as well? What about fellas like me?
It's just for the ordinary working people who go to work every day who've got a job, all right? We're lucky we've got a job.
Yeah, but
this
what about
is
the people that
marvellous.
haven't
This
got
is
a job?
England.
Not only the British thought it was marvelous, the Trudeau children watched from Canada House with their mother.
Well, I thought it was like a fairy tale. And like the trumpets and the band and the Prince Charles was the prince and Lady Diana was the princess and was very happy.
What did you think of Lady Diana?
I think she was very beautiful, and I'm glad that Prince Charles has picked her. He has made a very good choice.
Misha, what did you think of the whole thing?
I think the band was nice. I'm a musician myself, so I would think it's nice all the time. Lady Diana was nice, Charles was nice, the church was nice, the Queen was nice.
Not just the children, but all the world seems captivated by the beautiful princess in her magnificent dress.
She looked beautiful. She had lovely frills around here, and she looked like a lemon colour, didn't it?
Lemony cream. It wasn't white.
Lovely.
Even as they saw it, this London fashion house was copying it, frantically working from a sketch made the moment the bride appeared on television.
Ours is white, hers was ivory, more to cream. Secondly, really the important thing is we are not using pure silk, we're using artificial silk, and therefore it's a lot cheaper than Lady Diana's or Princess of Wales dress would be if one could buy it, which of course you can't.
Within hours, 3 copies of the dress will be in London stores. Within days, thousands. The wedding has obviously been a tremendous boost for the British fashion industry and for the British economy, and also, perhaps above all, even if only fleetingly, for a faltering British spirit. Eve Savory, CBC News, London.
Soccer is known as the beautiful game, but the world's most popular sport has a dark side too. For all the skill, stamina, and occasionally Oscar-worthy acting seen on the pitch, there is a serious risk of injury. Players sometimes collide with surprising force. And as Cass Rusey reports, there are concerns that officials are not taking those dangers seriously enough.
It happened 17 seconds into a game that pitted Germany against Argentina at the World Cup final.
Eyes focused on the ball, wins the ball and just runs into Kramer.
Germany's midfielder Christoph Kramer took a blow to the head. Not only was he knocked to the ground, he was slow to get up, clutching his head, disoriented too.
He was assessed and basically was sent back into play, and he was behaving inappropriately, and they took him off at that point.
Okay, there's head contact. It's those damaging hits that prompted neurosurgeon Michael Cusimano and a team of researchers to review videotapes of the 64 games played in Brazil in 2014. Clutching of his head. In all, they identified 81 head collisions, more than 4 times the number reported by team doctors. International soccer guidelines adopted by FIFA say those players should be removed from the game and assessed by a medical official on the sideline. But Cusimano says that only happened in about a third of the cases. Among players with 3 or more signs of concussions, the majority returned to play after an assessment lasting about a minute and a half.
I think to properly assess a patient, you need a minimum of about 7 to 10 minutes. How would you feel that you had your concussion assessed by a doctor who saw you for 30 seconds?
But in a statement, FIFA says it regularly monitors the situation of head injuries, maintaining constant contact with current and ongoing studies on this matter. It's a team effort, says this neurologist who sits on the Canadian Soccer Association's medical committee.
We need to identify players with concussion. Not only do we need the referees to be identifying them, we need the people on the sidelines to be recognizing it, we need their coaches to be recognizing it, and we need our players out there to be recognizing it.
With doctors under pressure to keep the players on the pitch and players downplaying their symptoms to stay on the pitch, the stakes are high. Cusimano hopes to see independent doctors performing concussion assessments in time for next year's World Cup in Russia. Cass Rusi, CBC News, Toronto.
Her Royal Majesty is getting a raise. Sir Alan Reid, keeper of the Privy Purse, has determined that the Queen needs more cash to run her affairs. The sovereign grant, funded by the taxpayer, covers things like household staff salaries, royal travel, and upkeep on the Crown's many properties. It's getting a boost of 8% next year to about $138 million, a $10 million jump from last year. It may sound hefty, but Sir Alan calls it good value, roughly the price of a first-class postage stamp every year per person. But with the Queen's estimated net worth of about $110 billion, some wonder why the public should pay at all. Automation and technology have revolutionized our lives, personal finance in particular. Now we can order everything from food to furniture with a tap, even make big investments with a click. Many don't even bother getting cash from an ATM anymore. A technology that burst onto the world half a century ago today. Cameron McIntosh now on the 50th anniversary of the bank machine.
A card, a code, cash. For most Canadians, that's banking.
How often do you use one?
I'd say at least once a day.
Better than losing your wallet with money in it.
Today in London, a celebration around a gold ATM at a Barclays bank, marking the very spot of the very first and enthusiastic automatic teller transaction. £10. Fees weren't invented yet.
It's called IDA for short, Identifying Dispensing Accounting.
A Canadian version followed soon. Instead of a card, you needed this key.
Now, neither that name nor that key caught on, but in time the technology did. Right now there are more than 65,000 bank machines across Canada and more than 3 million worldwide. But their future is kind of in doubt.
While today's ATM does way more, tap technologies and online banking are reducing reliance on cash. There were 106 million fewer ATM withdrawals at Canadian banks in 2015 than in 2010.
I think it's going to decline. I think it's going to fade away. It'll go just the way that home delivery of milk or the video store.
Still, it's a technology that revolutionized not just banking, but everyday living. Remember lining up at a bank on a Friday?
If you ran out of cash on the weekend, well, you were just stuck unless you could borrow from a friend or a family member.
So you don't remember lining up at the bank on a Friday, getting cash for the weekend?
Not really, no.
It sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, I might have to ask my parents. They might know a little bit more about that.
Oh, they remember. Those 80s bank lines were bad. Then again, people will likely be saying something similar years from now about carrying a card and paying a fee to go stick it in a box for some cash. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Facebook has only been around 13 years, and today it hit a major milestone. This morning, founder Mark Zuckerberg posted that Facebook has surpassed 2 billion monthly users. That's more than 1/4 of the world's population, a long way from helping college kids connect on campus. Straight ahead, a woman who connected Canadians with the world. We'll show you today's honors for legendary journalist Barbara Frum.
The oldest camera in the world. And this, the oldest existing photograph, taken in 1826. Then in 1851, a new process came along. A glass plate had to be meticulously cleaned. It was then coated with collodion to form a thin, even film on the glass. It was a cumbersome method, but the glass gave clear, sharp negatives and unlimited prints on paper.
With me now is the promotion manager for Black Camera chain.
This is the Kodak Instamatic. You just simply flip the back like so, open it up, and I'll let you take it from there.
I will now play the part of the child. If I can operate as a child can, and that will show you how easy it all is to do.
I knew if I said that it would come out backwards, and it did. Now that's the roll of film. Just
read it, turn it around, and zappo.
Want to take an indoor picture?
Yes,
you pop on a cube?
Yes, a cube. Now, and then I just push that, and I got a picture.
That's it.
All right, stand back, everybody.
Nope.
Hey, folks, it works.
One of the keys to taking good pictures is the size of your film. The larger the negative, the better chance you'll get sharp results. That's the knock against the disc cameras. They're easy to use and inexpensive, but if you plan to get any of your pictures enlarged, the tiny negatives in disc film are a real liability.
This new film method comes complete with its own lens and shutter. It slips easily into a pocket and it can be developed in the usual way. Until now, camera companies were in a race to produce the most portable and the cheapest of the instant filmless cameras. And the announcement by the Japanese Fuji Group is a major leap forward.
This is one you hook to your computer.
Looks like a telephone.
It's a camera that'll hold 32 images in electronic memory. Then you can transfer them to your computer.
Can you take my picture with us?
Be glad to. All right, ready?
Smile for the computer?
Smile for the computer. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
And once they're in the computer, can you print them on your printer?
You can print them on your printer. You can put them, say, into a publishing program if you want to include them in a newsletter.
Ooh, this is exciting. I look pretty darn stupid there. How much is this job you worth?
This one's $800.
Okay.
Modern photographers can work with precision because of the technical advances of the late 19th century. But the mystery and magic of photography remains in the way silver crystals gather together after being exposed to light.
A treasured member of the CBC News family was honored today here at the Broadcasting Centre. Barbara Frum had a long and influential career as a journalist, helping to tell Canada's story for decades. She is this year's inductee to the CBC News Hall of Fame. Among those who took part in the ceremony, 2 accomplished journalists in their own right, her children.
She was not motivated by personal grandiosity nor vanity. She did not seek acclaim, but she always welcomed the tributes of her peers in the profession.
She often said, above all things, I hate a lie. How much we miss, how keenly we miss that keen integrity. How grateful we are even for the too short time in which we knew it. And how intensely do we continue to be inspired by it.
Also on hand to speak about Frum's continuing influence, her old friend, former executive producer of the Journal, and As It Happens, Mark Starvich. And Jennifer Maguire, the editor-in-chief of CBC News. Oh, and this guy, who, like a lot of people around here, was lucky enough to work with Barbara and learn from her in the 70s and 80s. Barbara Frum joins previous inductees Knowlton Nash and Joe Schlesinger. Before we go, here's a look at a story we're bringing you tomorrow.
I'm Red Sharon on the North Atlantic. Home to what was once one of the largest food sources in the world, the northern cod. Made commercially extinct 25 years ago by overfishing.
There are too many people trying to make a living from that resource at the present time.
It led to the largest mass layoff in Canadian history.
Come out!
But it didn't happen without a fight. We take a look back at what it meant to Newfoundland and Labrador and whether anything has really changed. Tomorrow on The National.
That's The National for this Tuesday night. For news at any hour, you can always go to our website, cbcnews.ca. I'm Peter Mansbridge. Thanks for watching.